everyone, the Dating God here, the #1 online coach for dating advice and getting your ex back. Now, I know it's been broken down by many other coaches, techniques, tips, methods, but the difference here is I'm going to break it down better than anyone else. What else separates me from other coaches is my availability. I'm going to list all of my contact and website information below. I will be available to help you actually get real results. And please, pretty please, subscribe to The Dating God. Click subscribe now. Let's go. Alright, so this video is on how to actually get your ex back and the 4 stages of that process. I'm going to teach you how to do that right now. So who am I? I am the Dating God. I'm a real person. I'm going to help you get your ex back. That is my #1 goal, is to help you, because I know how much breakups suck. They're terrible. They're absolutely awful. Some days you wake up and you just, right when you wake up, you want the day to already be over before it even begins because you are in so much pain. You might be depressed. You might be just barely holding it together. You might not be eating a whole lot at all. You might be thinking about it constantly, nonstop, all the time. I completely understand because I have been there before. And that's why I'm here in this video, is to give you some advice, and most importantly, I'm going to give you some hope today, right now. You absolutely can get your ex back, whether you're a man or a woman. In almost all situations, your odds are actually pretty high. And if you're a unique person and you had a super special bond with your ex, had some amazing times together, and it wasn't stale, but it still ended, your odds are actually even higher than the average person or relationship. So, why did they break up with you? Well, almost always it's one of 2 things. Either you became boring, predictable, and you didn't have your own goals. You became needy, clingy. You weren't living your own life. You didn't continue to become the best version of yourself. And attraction fell over time. Now they may need a break from this. On the other side, the other extreme is you didn't make them a priority. You didn't look at them with big loving eyes like you had the whole world in front of you. You didn't make time for them. You didn't do special things for them. You didn't put in enough effort in general. Maybe you took them for granted. Maybe you weren't speaking their love language, which is actually very important also. If you don't know the love languages, do a Google search on love languages and try to understand your partner's or your ex's love language for the future. But so it's either one of 2 things. Either you became needy and dependent on them, or you took them for granted. It's your job to dig deep and figure out what really went wrong. This could take weeks or months for the light bulb to really go off, but that's your job to figure out, and that's going to help you not make the same mistake again and understand what actually happened so you can figure out what you need to do moving forward. Okay, on to the ex back process. One thing you must understand is getting your ex back is a fluid process, meaning it changes over time. You may have 0 contact with them for weeks. You may reach out months later and then go back into a no contact situation. Either way, it's fluid and it takes time. Sometimes you get them back after a week. Sometimes it takes months. At any rate, chill. It's a very complicated dynamic, and time is a huge factor when it comes to changing this dynamic, whether that's 1 week or 4 months. During the process of getting your ex back, you'll need to use a lot of your intuition and gut instincts. Now, there's a lot of different coaches, methods out there on the internet, but without overcomplicating it, the method that works the best to get your ex back is the active no contact method. And I'm going to break that all down here for you. Now, you may have heard of it before, but I will assure you, it's not an internet gimmick. It's not a trick. It's not a hocus pocus that doesn't work that people just keep repeating. No, the no contact method, especially an active no contact, is the real deal, and it does work. And in many cases, this is the only thing you have left. You've probably tried to reach out to your ex to convince them otherwise, call them, text them. You might even be getting one-word responses or no response at all from them. Your ex has gone cold. Something that happened over a period of time, they have lost some interest. But fear not, we're going to make that interest return. No contact is cutting all contact off from them for an extended period of time, which has a dramatic effect on them and makes them realize how important you are. And we'll get into the science on that. Now, one thing you can do right now before starting a full no contact is do no contact for a couple days. Then, after that, reach out with a phone call to them one last time. If they don't answer, wait about an hour and call again during a time you think that they might be available. If they don't answer again, send a text telling them you wanted to ask them something quick and that you'll try to call another time. They may call you back, or they might text you and say, just text me. At this point, you can say, well, the phone would be easier, and call them in 10 minutes. The point is to get them on the phone, connect with them, make them laugh, say something funny, be confident, try your best. I know you can't change much in just a few days, but do your best to be confident when you're not contacting them for a couple days. Do your best when you call them, and don't break no matter what. Don't fall into their negativeness. If they're negative, try to make light of it. Be positive, joke with them, use your intuition. You don't want to come off insincere, but try your best. They may be very resistant to you calling them. If they are, say, look, I know I made some mistakes. I was either, taking you for granted, or I was being needy and I wasn't being independent, etc. Tell them that you realize that now you realize now you made some mistakes, but everyone makes mistakes. Get them to forgive you if possible, if your gut feeling tells you to ask for forgiveness. Getting them to forgive you can get them to start to let their guard down. Ask them to try to meet up one last time for coffee or meet at the park or wherever. They will probably give resistance or say no. Now, if they do this, tell them, I know what you mean, but we should just meet up one last time. It's just coffee, it's just coffee. If they continue to say no, tell them, let's meet up one last time, and if you don't want me to call you or text you ever again after that, then I won't. But let's just meet up tomorrow. What you want to do is try to schedule it as soon as you can. The next day, not the next week. You want it to be so that they're not going to have time to sit there and think about it, change their mind, etc. So if you can get them to meet up, do something, maybe change your style a little bit, change your appearance a little bit. Maybe it might throw them off a little bit, but you always got to be moving forward, bettering yourself, etc. So if you do get a chance to meet them, keep it light, have fun, don't talk about the relationship too much. Use your intuition, try your best, be confident. I know a lot of you probably think that where you're at with your ex, that this would be impossible. Well, you can still give it a shot. And for some of you, it'll happen easily, and others, there is no way that it's going to work. But you got to give it a shot, try your best, give that shot, because you don't know. It's the old saying, you don't know unless you ask. So give it a shot after a couple days, no contact, see what happens. Now, another idea is, and this has worked for me and it's worked for others, the other idea is wait about 4 to 7 days on a no contact, and if you can dig deep and come up with something creative and then message them, you might have a shot. For example, if they always wanted you to say they always wanted you to go to church with them and you didn't, maybe wait that 4 or 5 days and give them a text, say hi, and tell them you're wondering, hey, would you like to meet up for church this Sunday and, maybe brunch after, depending, or something like that. It has a chance to maybe throw them off completely, and It's just something creative that might surprise them. You got to come up with something specific to your own situation, but this does work in some instances. So give it a shot. Now, if none of that is working and you can't get them to meet up, you're getting such heavy resistance, you can't get them on a call, you can't get any response on text for days, you can't get through to them at all, well, then the only thing to do from there would be a full no contact. Why? Because honestly, this is really all you have left anyway. Their reactance level is very high right now. You need time and or space between you two to bring that reactance down. Just like a salesman, say on the side of the street, or you're walking through a mall and there's a salesman trying to sell you sunglasses or whatever. As soon as he opens his mouth, a lot of people, as soon as these salesmen start talking, you just want to keep walking. You just want to walk the other way. You just want to get away from it. Well, that's reactance. Your reactance is very high. So same with you and your ex right now. Their reactance level is extremely high. You need to give it a rest. You need to back up, stop pushing them away. All you have left is to do a full no contact, and that's what this video is about. But don't worry, no contact is extremely powerful. So what is no contact? Well, basically in a nutshell, no contact is agreeing to the breakup and then no longer having any contact with your ex. It is the mature thing to do. You are no longer badgering them. You're allowing them to miss you because you aren't always there anymore. You're not contacting them. Your ex has told you that they no longer want you in their life, and you're basically respecting that now. You cut all contact with them and begin working on yourself. When you begin working on yourself, that is the active part of the no contact. The goal is to better yourself, learn from your mistakes, and eventually get your ex back and give it a try. Now, there's a number of techniques and tricks to help you during this time too, but you have to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and start to upgrade yourself. No contact is the mature and confident thing to do. Now, when they first break up with you, yeah, you should give them some resistance. Tell them, this is not what I want to stay together, etc. You may or should try to convince them to work things out. But in the end, maybe they're just not having it. Maybe they aren't listening. Well, giving them some resistance is a good thing as long as you don't go overboard. You are showing them you don't want this. You're telling them that. But if that's not working and they're not having it after this, you need to agree to the breakup, wish them well, and then disappear completely. And that is the full no contact. If you've already chased them for weeks, which a lot of people have before seeing this video, the best thing still to do is go full no contact. You've already tried all of that. Because you are showing you have the ability to change and you stop chasing them and that you are learning, this is actually a very good thing because this helps you due to the rule of generality, which states basically regardless of the type of change, it's showing that you are capable of change in general. You're changing by stop chasing them and giving it a rest. So that's the rule of generality. Whether it's your appearance or something else, showing you have the ability to change is a great thing, and it may open them to the idea that you have the ability to change other things about yourself. So the no contact method does work in most situations, very high probability with it for men and for women. This is based on many cases. This is not just me saying this. This is off of my own personal experiences and with others, many others, actually seeing it happen, seeing it worked. It's worked thousands of times, and you are no different. It takes some time. It's not overnight. It can work even in the took them for granted situations when you neglected them to an extent. The key here would be to demonstrate over time through social media or phone calls, text right after the breakup to really dig deep and show you realized you made some mistakes and you have the ability to change. You still will probably go into no contact since they probably went cold on you, but you have a month or two to realize what went wrong and demonstrate change. Now, 95% of you are probably not in this took them for granted situation. This only applies when they explicitly state that you aren't making them a priority and they complain about it time and time and time again, and they tell you need to fix it, or they may leave you, and they keep citing the fact, they specifically cite that you're taking them for granted, etc. That is the only time that this is applicable for taking them for granted. 95% of you are not in this boat. A lot of the time, it's the other circumstance that I said earlier in this video. So, start no contact. Unfollow your ex on all social media. Do not unfriend them, but unfollow. Unfollow their friends also, but do not unfriend them. Do not check in on them on social media. If you've already unfriended them, that's okay, but try not to, because you can use this as an advantage later by staying friends with them. Do not post anything sad on social media. Do not like their posts. Don't post about the relationship. Don't take shots at them. Don't post up negative things. Just stay mature and chill. Stop posting things, gather your thoughts, and start an active no contact, which means no contact while you're bettering yourself. So going no contact does many things at once. First, it shows you're standing up for yourself and you won't beg and plead anymore. Second, it allows wounds to close and start to heal instead of continuing to tear them open and push them further away. What happens when you go into no contact is simple. First, your ex will initially feel a sigh of relief. This is the first stage. This makes sense. They believe they want to break up with you very strongly, so that when you do give them the breakup like they wanted, they'll feel like they got what they wanted. They'll feel relieved. You are not chasing them anymore. You're not pushing them any further away. Now, after the breakup, they may change their image a little bit. They may change their hair, whatever else. They may start going out to bars and clubs, hang out with old friends, post on social media and say how happy they are. The more they try this, the more likely it isn't true. It's a facade. It's fake. They are overcompensating for the loss of you and the loss of the relationship. It's most likely it's all a show. They're single and free now, they think. This behavior means nothing to you. Don't let it get to you. They will make some changes, but it's all good. All of this only means they are in pain because of you, and yes, you are on their mind. They are doing this because they are still connected to you. This is normal. Stay steady and stay in active no contact while you work on yourself. This is only temporary. Eventually, they will have to face the reality of breaking up with you, and we will get to this later in the video. Soon after the relief stage, which can last about 2 to 4 weeks, reality sets in. They start to become curious. This is the second stage, curiosity. The high of the relief is now over. Life isn't all rainbows and butterflies without you like they thought. The grass is not greener on the other side. They may start thinking, why haven't they reached out to me? What are they doing? Have they found someone new? I kind of miss them. All kinds of thoughts start running through their head. This is a good thing. This curiosity starts to build day by day and just keeps growing and growing. Stand strong. You do not reach out. Absolutely do not reach out to them. They will reach out to you at some point, but you're not reaching out to them for the very least months. This stage, the second stage, lasts about 2 to 4 weeks also. This might sound like a long time, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not very long. Time flies. Compare it to when you're younger. Say you're 16 years old and you think, I'm never going to be in college. Oh, I'm never going to be older. Well, time flies and you get to that point pretty quickly, you see, as you get older. So you have years and years ahead of you. Contacting them more and more right now will not work, so that's not an option anyways. They will become curious in this second stage because you have vanished. Curiosity is a precursor to attraction. Let me say that again. Curiosity is a precursor to attraction, which is what you want. Just like in a new relationship, there's an element of curiosity there, and that builds your attraction for the other person. It's the unknown, which is great because we are trying to re-attract them, right? Now, what happens after the second stage of curiosity is the infatuation stage. In this stage, their curiosity has grown very strong from that second stage, and it is now blossoming into infatuation. Just like when you were thinking about your ex constantly in the early stages of being broken up with, and you were infatuated with the thought of them, now the tables have started to turn around, and your ex is starting to feel exactly what you felt. Sort of like an inverse operation here. This is a great thing. The tables have turned. They start to remember the good times. They start forgetting all the bad things they thought about you and start to remember the good memories. This is natural, and it is called the fading effect bias. You can Google it, look it up, read more about it if you'd like. The fading effect bias. As time passes by, at least 21 days, your ex will start to remember the good. And this will increase as time goes by, meaning after the breakup, and up to 3 months after the breakup, the fading effect bias gets stronger and stronger day by day. Think about it. Think about a time when you had a feud with a friend. Say some time goes by, you both cool down and you remember the bond you had together with them and remember the good memories about them, and you start to forget the bad. You start to forget the fight you had. Eventually, you talk to that friend again. Well, this is the same concept here, the fading effect bias. They start to remember the good and forget the bad. This is how the human mind works to an extent. It takes some time, but this is what you want. Now, in the final stage of no contact, of getting your ex back, your ex enters into the stage fear of loss. The complete fear of actually losing you for good. This may take up to 2 or 3 months from the start of your no contact, and that's okay. You have plenty of time. Relax. And for reference, between day 45 and day 60 of no contact is actually a very strong time frame where they may actually reach out to you and say something. And that time frame works well for a number of reasons. I go more into detail on this in my ex-back guide. If you want more advice on time frames and what to expect or other advice, I also do coaching calls and coaching emails for your exact situation. See my information below or on thedatinggod.com. So, in this fear of loss stage that we are in, they start to think, are they gone for good? Are they gone forever? Did I make a mistake? Could I get them back even if I wanted to? What are they doing? They have no clue what you're doing. You've been gone. You've been working on yourself. Did they really move on? Would they even talk to me if I wanted them to? Are they mad at me? All these thoughts start to go through their head. This is the stage where your ex will finally reach out. It might be a really small text like something they left at your house, or about an event or a random memory. Any message from them at all at this point is usually a very good thing. Do not think it's impossible for you, because it's not. It's very possible. Even in situations where someone thinks there's no way they're going to reach out. Yes, they do, and they can, and the odds are likely that they will. Trust me. Even them reaching out in a cryptic way, even if it's about an item they're looking for, they're probably fishing to see if you're going to respond. Do not give in right away to the temptation. This is what I want you to do. Respond casually and in a business manner, like matter-of-factly. For example, if they want like an item back, say no problem. I'll leave it on my doorstep later when I get home, or I'll drop it on your doorstep later tonight. Do what you got to do and leave it at that. From there, the gate has been unlocked. Leave it be and wait for a response back. It may take days. It might just take minutes. You don't know, but stay strong. They will be back. You have to have faith. They will probably try to continue the conversation, but you have not gotten them back yet. And if you start reaching out again and putting the control and the power back in their hands, that's not what you want. You don't want to say, look, I'm right here. You can have me any second you want just by asking about an item. And I'm right here to just message you. No, you need to stay strong and keep your composure. They are experiencing fear of loss, which is a great thing. It means they really did care. In situations when they don't reach out, if they never reach fear of loss, they probably didn't care enough in the first place, which is not what you want to hear, but it would be a win-win situation for you even if they never did reach out. But odds are they likely will in almost all situations. Each situation is unique, and there's many factors like age, time together, bond built, etc. So there's no magic timelines or magic formulas for this, but usually it works well, and they will contact you in this final stage. If you want more information on your exact situation, just visit my links below. I also have more resources located on my website, including my XBack guide, so check that out too. Now, during no contact, you need to make sure to work on yourself. Figure out what went wrong, work on actually changing your mindset, and figure out if you can actually change these things. You must go above and beyond to work on changing these things. You can't just kind of try. You need to really try, and you need to evolve. Maybe start to meditate, work out more, be social, get out and about, even though you feel like crap. Maybe you're depressed. You have to suck it up and get up. Force yourself to do these things. Get a gym membership, start a new hobby. Maybe it's fishing, maybe it's CrossFit. You got to do something. You got to grow, work on yourself. You can also do little things like write down one thing you're grateful about yourself each day. It could be simple, like, oh, I'm grateful that I cooked such a great dinner and I do this or that well, something to do with one of your hobbies. Focus on yourself, make yourself better. Maybe change your appearance a little bit, nothing drastic, but focus on yourself, take care of yourself, get some new clothes, organize your house. You get the point. Work on yourself and reflect on how you can become a more complete person. They don't want to get back together with the exact same person they were with before. Something wasn't working. They don't want to get back with that exact same person. They want to get back with an upgraded version of yourself. Genuine upgraded version of yourself. Not an overnight changed version of yourself. It takes time. An upgraded version of yourself that can actually meet their needs. You have to change, improve, and keep improving. One of the most important parts of this video is if you don't actually change, you will get them back, and you'll probably lose them again within 3 months. If this happens, it's because you're not working hard enough. You're not putting in enough effort, you're still taking them for granted, or you're still not confident in yourself. You need to work on this and get better. It has to be real change and continue on forever. Keep improving. Do not fall into your old ways when you get them back again. You need to revisit each morning or each night or when you're alone where you were in the past, and you need to realize how quickly, if you do get them back, how quickly you can lose them again. You need to stay on top of things. Now, do not underestimate the no contact method. This method, especially this active that I've been talking about, is very powerful, very effective, super strong. Just because it's simple does not mean it doesn't work. It does work. It works in all situations, even in hard cases with extreme fighting in your relationship. It still works. I've seen it. It does work. It's very strong, and if you actually break down the science, it all does start to make sense. I'll say that again. If you actually break down the science of everything here in this video, it all starts to make sense. There will be days where you believe in the no contact method, and there's going to be days where you don't, where you're thinking, maybe this is all bullshit. Well, I'll tell you this, it's not. It doesn't work 100% of the time, but in reality, nothing does. People that are in the best in the world at things aren't 100%, whether that's sports or whatever. Nothing works 100% of the time. But I'll tell you this, in a majority of cases for men and women, it absolutely does work. Even if it feels like, no, I don't think they're ever going to text me. Well, they might just text you on like day 50 into your no contact. You don't know that. Even if you think there's no way, there's going to be days where you think that. Well, yeah, there is a way. It does work. It does work for every reason I laid out before here. Your mind celebrates the lost. Look at what you've lost. You replay the positive memories, the good times, over and over and over. But the truth is, this will also happen to your ex soon, if you let them, with no contact. They will feel horrible. They inflicted this loss on you, but they also inflicted this loss on themselves. No one gets out of a breakup unaffected. No one. It will catch up to them the same way it made you feel right when they broke up with you. It's like an inverse reaction, like I said earlier. It's going to catch up with them. As you start to feel better after some time, they can definitely start to feel worse. Give it time. Also, during this time, they will not forget about you. Absolutely not. They will end up missing you. The science of missing something is twofold. How you miss something is first the absence of something. And then, during that absence, there's a stimulus that reminds you of that something. So think about it. If you used to ride your bike all the time and loved it, but you sold it, you don't have a bike anymore. So now there's an absence of your bike. It's gone. Now, when you see someone riding their bike down the street, that's a stimulus. You see them on their bike, and it reminds you of yours. You no longer have a bike, so it's absent. You saw them on their bike, that was the reminder. These two things combined make you miss your bike after some time. Not later that day, not the next day. That's why you're giving your ex some time. You're giving them time right now. Time for you to grow and time for them to grow. Just because you are apart now does not mean that it'll be that way later, no matter how extremely bad the relationship got. Relax. Absence and a stimulus. The same thing is going to happen to your ex as the bike example that I just explained. You are now absent because you're in no contact. While you're absent, they are going to hear a song, they're going to see a restaurant, or they're going to see something that reminds them of you. That's the stimulus. And if you are doing no contact correctly, you are absent. These will combine together and they will miss you, not forget you. They're not going to forget you anytime soon. They're not even going to forget you over the next year. So chill. That's not how it works. They are not going to forget you, even though you might think that. Not going to happen. Now, obviously, in the first stage, the initial relief stage, you're not there yet. But that's right when you got started. That's if you were maybe chasing them and pushing them away. But soon after, they'll be right into the curiosity stage. So everything's going to be okay. My advice is stay strong, believe in the no contact method. You'll be able to reach out to them in the future at some point after a few months, regardless. Most exes do come back at some point. Rebound relationships mean almost nothing, and if they're right away, they're actually a good thing. I explain more about this in my other video about rebound relationships. But my information comes from real-world experiences, all types of people. Humans are humans. I've been studying this for years. I've practiced this, used this, and I've found out what works, what doesn't. Stay strong, and first things first. Let your ex start to go through these stages I've just covered. Reaching out right now, trying to be funny, connect with them, showing them you've changed. That might work in a small number of cases, but and that's like I explained at the start of the video, what you could do right now. That's an option. Once you've already done that and they're not having it, Anything more, you're pushing them away. That is when you go into the active no contact that I laid out for you in this video. Refer back to the start of this video, see the couple ideas I offered before you start a full no contact, but no contact is very, very powerful. If you continue to contact them too much, you're too available. You're not respecting your ex's wish to break up. You're not absent. They can't miss you because you're always there. Work on yourself. Take a break. They're not going to suddenly forget you. Even if it appears they suddenly moved on, they didn't. It's all an act. Alright, well that's it for this video. If you need to watch this video over and over 100 times in a row, do it. There's no shame in it. You have to face the breakup either way. You know, maybe a technique here is think about it for an hour or two each day and then try to take a break until later that night or until the next day if you can. I know it's difficult, but don't forget to visit thedatinggod.com where you can purchase my full XBAC guide if you'd like, and don't forget to click subscribe now. I work pretty hard at this. I know this is a long video, but I want to help as many people as I can, and I was trying to be as thorough as possible to cover all the bases for everybody. My goal is to have as many of you subscribers as possible. Hopefully I taught you guys something today and offered you something of value. If you think I offered you something of value or I taught you anything in this video, please click subscribe, and you can also see the other videos as I release them. All my contact information is below. If you comment on any of my videos, I will try to answer as best and complete as I can. I can't get to everyone, but I will do my absolute best. Have a great day, and trust me, everything will work itself out, and you will be okay. Peace.
Everybody get your